Aloha everyone, welcome back to Stalking Farmstead. So, tomorrow's my birthday. Chances are I won't make any videos. So I wanted to share this with you because I want to raise awareness. Women, especially moms, young women, please be careful when you are traveling America's interstates. I know some of you have seen this, but since there's 450 million people in America, and I noticed that less than a million actually watched a major video, I wanted to bring awareness. Folks, there's estimated to be several hundred long-haul trailer, 18-wheeler drivers that are considered serial killers in America. Now, I'll show you some clips, okay? Let's start with this one.
We have multiple serial killers operating in the United States, without a doubt. The suspect pool for all of those within the trucking community is 450 suspects right now.
Determined to help narrow that down, Figliuzzi, now retired, started investigating on his own. He researched, pulled data from the FBI's Highway Serial Killings Initiative, and traveled across the U.S. with the long-haul trucker to experience the lifestyle. To a key conclusion, these killers are cold, calculated, and clever.
An 18-wheeler is a mobile crime scene. What do I mean by that? These killers are grabbing their victims in one jurisdiction, killing or raping them in a second jurisdiction, and dumping the body in a third.
Just get this out there. There is over 1 million long-haul truckers in America. More than 1 million. Less than 1,000 suspected serial killers. So you're talking a very, very small percentage. So I don't want you to look at every trucker as if they're dangerous. In fact, my husband has his CDLs. His brother has his CDLs. All of his uncles, everybody in his family, they all carry their CDLs, okay? So the majority of our long-haul truckers are good people. They're family men. And believe it or not, ladies, in a pinch, you're having trouble, you've got an abusive boyfriend, or you're scared for your life, you run to the truckers, honey, because they're going to come out of those trucks willing to defend you with their lives. Now, I know that for a fact because I come from a family, well, of truckers. And I just wanted to make sure that we all understood each other. I'm not saying that everybody you see, every 18-wheeler you look at is literally a torture chamber in the back of his truck. However, there are a few of those. This clip's a little long, but you definitely want to watch the entire thing, folks.
Torture chambers. And Interstate I-40 is one in particular that stands out as a major hotspot. The route travels from Wilmington, North Carolina to Barstow, California, running through Raleigh, Nashville, Memphis, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, Albuquerque, and Flagstaff. Convicted serial killer trucker Bruce Mendenhall was arrested July 2007 in Tennessee, found guilty in 2010 of the murder of Sarah Hulbert after his truck matched CCTV footage. Weeks before his arrest, the body of a naked 25-year-old woman, Samantha Winters, was found wrapped in plastic. She had been shot in the head and found in a dumpster. Sarah Hulbert was found the exact same way. These victims were merely two of at least 1,000 women that cops believe have been killed by truckers over the years. When police raided 56-year-old Mendenhall's truck cab, they were in disbelief. Investigators called it a killing chamber. The stash of torture devices included a rifle, a nightstick, tape, handcuffs, latex gloves, sex toys, and a bag of bloody clothing. The DNA found on the clothing in Mendenhall's truck matched 5 missing or murdered women. One was Karma Purpura, a 31-year-old mother of 2, who was last seen at a truck stop in Indianapolis, nearly 300 miles away. Also in the truck were Karma's mobile phone and her bank card. This can't help but bring to mind serial killer David Parker Ray, the Toy Box Killer, and the $100,000 he invested in his torture trailer, which he called the Toy Box. He is suspected of murdering anywhere between 60 to over 100 women. Between 1957 and 1999, he picked up women, many of them sex workers, or he had his young female accomplice Cindy Hendy lure females back to the premises. She called them packages. Once they were brought into the trailer, they were blindfolded and bound. And before he did anything physical, he played a tape they would have to listen to, listing what all the women who had been there previously had gone through, and all the things that they themselves were about to endure. It's a horrific tape. You can probably find it on YouTube. Ray sexually tortured and presumably killed his victims using whips, chains, pulleys, straps, clamps, leg spreader bars, surgical blades, every gynecological device imaginable, electric shock machines, and saws. Hendy, who is now 64 years old, was also convicted, but she was set free after 20 years. Ray died in 2002 while incarcerated. Mendenhall was convicted of Hulbert and Winters murders and charged with killing Karma Purpura. He's also suspected of murdering at least 5 more women. But these deaths aren't isolated. There could be around 500 truck drivers involved in the murders over a 35-year span. Robert Rhoades was one of the first truck stop killers on record. He is believed to have killed 50 women in the span of 15 years. Here he is back in the day. And the hallmark of this killer? Like Mendenhall, he built a mobile torture dungeon in the back of his truck. Behind its steel door, women were held captive with handcuffs. He inflicted agonies on his victims by piercing their flesh with fish hooks. His final victim, Regina Walters, was just 14 years old. She had run away from her dysfunctional family home in Pasadena, Texas, with her then-boyfriend Ricky in 1990. Rhoades picked them up in Houston and swiftly killed Ricky, shooting him in the head. He kept Regina prisoner for weeks, sexually assaulting her. To torment the family, he even called her father and told him, "I made some changes. I cut her hair." Regina's corpse was later discovered in a deserted Illinois farmhouse. She had been strangled to death. Across America, just 25 ex-truckers are in prison for murder. One is Delmas Colvin, a 65-year-old man who was dubbed the Interstate Strangler. Following his arrest in 2004, Colvin told the investigators he didn't keep track of his kills. He couldn't remember them all, but he estimated he killed around 47 to 52 women, almost all sex workers. Like Mendenhall, he wrapped the victims in plastic and duct tape.
Things I think that we all need to take into consideration. The victims tend to have the same profile. They come from broken homes. They have addictions. They're runaways. They've been trafficked for sex in the past. So if you see something, folks, say something. If you pull into a big gas station to gas up your vehicle and you see a female that looks distressed, please don't ignore that. If you see a female, they call them lot lizards, and I'm being dead serious, in the gas station area where the long haul truckers are, and you see someone that is maybe bleeding or injured or running, please at least pull your phone out and call 911. You may be saving her life. I bring all this up because by the grace of God, I survived years of addiction. I survived putting myself in serious danger, basically living on the streets of America at one point. So I just feel like a public announcement needed to be made that we all need to be aware that this is actually happening in our country. Now, what would happen if tomorrow there were no long-haul truckers? Well, we'd all starve between 3-day time because that is how the majority of goods are moved across this amazing country. So let's support our truckers. Don't pull out in front of them. Don't slam on your brakes, folks. They can't stop on a dime. And for sweet Jesus, use your blinker if you're slowing down to turn. Just be smart. I mean, they're pulling tons of weight behind their their trucks, and they're feeding your family and mine. So God bless you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like to get our newsletter that comes out twice a month, it's a $30 subscription every 6 months. It'll be in the top, linked, and comment at the very top, the different ways that you can send that $30. Just make sure I have your email because our newsletter comes out via email. God bless. Good night. Love you guys.